Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this home decor project, woohoo! Using our tiny shadow box from Spellbinders. Now this project is a little bit different, and if for anyone that doesn't like the sound of my voice, you might want to turn your sound off because it's going to take quite a while for us to go through this. Might be a long one. So you might want to kick off your slippers and get a cup of tea. So the items that we're going to use are our tiny shadow box die set from Spellbinders. We're going to use our Bitty Blossoms die set from Spellbinders. We're going to use our 92 journaling rubber stamps from Spellbinders. Now, in the project that we've just had, I've just done the mini how to make the shadow boxes. So you'll have seen me make this box. I think it was this one that we made. And, you know, the die set, I've been very honest, and I've said when I got it, I thought, oh, what am I going to do with that? And then I made some of the boxes, and I thought, okay, well, let's give something different a go. So, as I go through everything, I'm going to explain things, and hopefully you understand and it makes sense. This was a lid from a Christmas present that I got, and I shall show you. There we go. So it's quite a large lid. I shall measure it for you. I should have done that before we started, but you know me, I am organised, but I just wasn't organised enough. So that's 12 inches. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 inches. So the box measures roughly 18 inches by about 10. And all I've done with it is I've taken the adhesive, there was some adhesive ribbon on it. I've taken the adhesive ribbon off it. I cut some paper to fit, and then I used PVA to stick the paper on, and I also sealed it with PVA. And the two ends are actually a little bit of paint, and I've stamped the ends. I don't know if you can see that. I've stamped it with like a crackle stamp that I had in my stash. So the inside of our box, there's going to be a lot of knocking the camera with this because it's quite big. I can't emphasise how big this actually is across my desk. So, and I'm going to try and work this way, hopefully, because that will be easier for me and you should still be able to see it. So I've covered it with paper and I've stamped it and I've covered it with PVA. I've left it to dry, and where I've got these creases in it, I really don't care, because it's going to be covered. You're not going to see that. I'm not a mixed media, I've always said this, I'm not a mixed media expert, I'm not a home decor expert. However, this project might just change my mind about home decor. So we've covered our box, oh my voice is going. I've covered my box and I've done the edges, etc. So the next thing I had to do was make all my shadow boxes. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh my word, how did you do that? Well, it took time, and everything just, it literally fell together so perfectly, because I looked at the shadow boxes and I thought, what can I do with these? What can I make that's completely different? So I know these are far away from you because I'd like the close-in shots, but we need to get this full box in. But I will take lots of photos after and have them on my blog so you can see it close too. So these are all the actual shadow boxes. And what I've done to each little box, let's pick one of, let's pick a funny one. So this is one of the shadow boxes, and that's a little photo of me. I've added photos or trinkets in each of them. All I've done is I've picked photos from, you know, on my computer, and then I've sized them to literally, I think it was 1.75 inches to 1.5 inches. I'll do that in centimetres as well for other viewers. So that's, I'll put the measurements on my blog as well. So it was 40 centimetres by 20, it was about 27 centimetres. So I made them into a smaller size, my photos, and then I cut them out and I stuck them into the boxes. Some are on 3D foam, some are on 2 layers of 3D foam, some are on 3. Some of the boxes I've stamped the words from our journaling stamps in. Some of them I've put flowers, our bitty blossoms, in. Some of them have got the embellishments from the actual, it's got the banner from the shadow box and one of the bitty roses. That's me, that's my mum. So the photos, I'll go through them as we put them on. So what I've done is I've made all these shadow boxes, and I'm going to start off with adding I'm going to use glossy accents. She says now it's sealed up, because glossy accents will last. It will hold the boxes in place, but it will also give me a little bit of time for manipulation. And all I'm going to do is add them one by one into our box lid. Now my first row I'm going to now put straight, and then, so that's my husband, it's me with my bouquet, me on my hen night, and one of the little blue tits from our wedding day that we had on the tables. And then next row, again, just I'm going to slide this under the shadow box, and then use, it's just the case of adding them really now and making sure they kind of overlap but they don't cover anything over, if that makes sense. And then let's think, let's have I don't want to spend too, I just want them random, so it's, I'm trying not to think about where I'm positioning things. That's a photo of my granddad from a long time ago. And then we can have another one of the shadow boxes. So I'm doing them alternate, and I'm hoping that by the time I get to the end, now here's one of my husband on his 50th. Can't believe he's 50 already. And can't believe I'm 50 soon. That'll shock you all. So here's me thinking I'm still only 29. There we go. And I'm hopefully getting them straight, well, straightish. And it looks how I imagined in my head, because if it doesn't look how I imagined it, then I'll have to go back to the drawing board. There we go. And where I've dropped it doesn't matter, because it's going to be covered over, because we'll go on to our next row. So just keep going, building each row up, adding them as we go. And oh, look at this one. Me stuffing my face. In fact, that will overlap too much, so we'll just go with one without an embellishment on. So pop that in, and then this is a pretty one. This is a trinket I had on my bouquet with two little lovebirds. So what I suppose I'm doing is building lots of tiny memories into one giant picture, if that makes sense. And because I've used glue, I can now just tweak them into place. So let's think, what's next? How many rows are we going to get? And I'm not too worried if they're not straight, if they're not perfect. It's, you know, it's work in progress, it could be. There we go. Me and my hubby. And I think we'll have a funny one here. There we go. That was a caricature that somebody drew of me a long time ago. So, a picture of it, obviously. That wasn't the full caricature. If I was only that size, that'd be great, wouldn't it, if I was that tiny? So we'll just get into our last row now, before you all switch off, bored silly of listening to me witcher on. So now, on my last row, I've got 3 boxes, and they're all actually fancy boxes, apart from one. So I'm going to try and make those fit the best way I can. And I'm hoping you can still see. I'm hoping you're still interested. So that's box 1. And box 2, my hubby. There we go. And add that. Now, box 3 is just a plain box, and I've stamped it with Made with Love. So I'm going to add that in the number 3 section. There we go. That will slot in. And then last but not least, just a picture of me and my mum from a long time ago. There we go. And that's the last one. And that fits perfectly. Now, what I could do, I could go on to add another row at the bottom, but I'm thinking I might just add the word love. I think I might die cut that to finish that off. I should have started a little bit further down, but hey ho. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my wall. So I'm going to lift it up to kind of show you how it looks. It's not ideal, I know. But it just gives you an idea of what you can do with the tiny shadow boxes. I think it builds up an amazing section of your life without too much expense. After you've bought the die, all you're going to do is print your photos off and then use what you've got in your stash to make the little boxes. And it's just an awesome idea. I might finish it with another row actually, but I will take photos to show you, and I'll put them on my blog, you know, so that you can see it up close and personal, as it were, because I think it's a lovely idea. You could give this as a gift. This actually started, I thought, oh, I'll make a scrapbooking page, and then I thought, oh no, I won't, because it might be too flimsy, and I wanted to do it as a picture. And then I saw the box lid and I thought, do you know, that's perfect. And I'm so happy with it. I think it looks fantastic. Just need to finish that row, and then, you know, it's going on my wall. So I do hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope it's given you an idea of what you can do with the shadow boxes, and probably an idea of, you know, my photo collection. I hope it hasn't put you to sleep and bored you too much, but it's given you ideas of how you can just incorporate different items with your shadow boxes, the flowers, the stamps, little arrows, the hearts, so many different things to bring them to life, and they're probably all things that you've got in your stash. Please share, if you want, feel free. If you've got anything to say, please do so on my blog or on Facebook. Any comments, you know, that you've got on YouTube, I can't reply to, unfortunately. But I do love hearing from you, so thank you. And I just want to say thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.